Hello and welcome back to another episode on Holton Talks. Today it's just myself and Jamie again. You all right, Joe?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
Not too bad, thanks, mate. Unfortunately, Scott can't make it again. Second video in a row.
It's part timer.
Part timer, mate, don't you think?
Yeah, shocking.
So just gonna have a look, obviously, ahead of Tuesday's game against Brentford in the cup. Just give a quick video, get our predictions and stuff like that. So first thing for me, Joe, really is I'm hoping to see a lot of different faces from obviously the Everton game at the weekend. Obviously the likes of Elliot, Sancho, Gazond, Marlon, probably Lindelof and stuff like that. Matson getting a few minutes and hopefully playing well to not prove a point to Emery. So I know he does like them players, but prove to him that they can start a game in the Premier League and obviously change our fortune around in the league and hopefully the cup can be a good distraction coming up on Tuesday from the Premier League. Would you reckon it'd be a much changed team or similar team players on the team sheet?
Yeah, I mean, just you saying there, it's a bit of a distraction from the Premier League. It's just so depressing, really, isn't it? That we're using a League Cup game against away at Brentford to give us a bit of hope in this dark time. But yeah, I'm hoping for a rotated team. I'd like again what you were saying. I want to see Gasson play. I want to see Marlon play. Marlon at the nine, Gasson on the left or the right, and then you have Sancho. You'll have Elliot in there. Hopefully, give Bogard some minutes in the middle because obviously, like we spoke about, pardon me, like we spoke about in the last episode, bit of an injury crisis in the middle of the park at the minute. So he's gonna, probably be him and McGinn to be fair playing. Um, get there, make their connection stronger, and give him more minutes because he's going to have to play again like he had to do last year when we had that centre half crisis in
Yeah,
the winter time when we signed Dasasi. Um, so yeah, like I said, Matson again. I don't know, obviously, what the crack is with Garcia. Maybe he might get some minutes, not sure, but otherwise it'll be Cash. Lindelof playing. Obviously, Ezri has played every game. Played in both England games. Obviously, started the second one. So obviously maybe give him a little bit of a rest. You might see a Pau Torres come in, maybe, or yeah. Well, a big one would be as well giving Rogers a rest because yeah,
yeah,
he looks shot of everything. He looks like
yeah,
a
exactly.
player
Yeah,
that just doesn't want to be here. I don't know if you remember. Again, I'm clutching at straws here. We don't know what's going on, but do you remember John Gregory speaking about Dwight York and
yeah,
he wanted to go United and there's that famous story with the whole Bosnich thing
nice, yeah,
and him saying he didn't want to play for Villa, etc. Blah blah blah. Anyway, they played a game and he didn't move for 90 minutes. And
yeah. I see that.
I'm not because he wanted to move to United. And I'm not saying Rodgers is like that because you can see Rodgers is trying, but in my back of my head, I'm thinking, is he not going to that full capacity as what he has been? Because in the back of his mind, he's thinking, my future lies elsewhere. He's in the England squad. He's just won PFA Young Player of the Year. He goes away at England and he was at that ceremony. He has all these players from all these bigger clubs. Does he have his eyes somewhere else? I don't know. Again, I'm clutching at straws here, but that's
He did
just
come out, didn't he? Well, I think it was actually during the international break saying how much he likes to be at Villa. He did. I think it was during the current international break he come out.
they're gonna say that, though,
Basically,
aren't they? They're not gonna come out and say, you know what? I
yeah,
actually
they
think
are.
I actually think I'll go to United.
But yeah, looking at Tuesday team for me personally, I'll run through what I would play. So I would obviously be Bezo in goal.
The world's number
Um,
one.
I reckon we need to rest as many, not rest, but change the squad
Mm.
as much as possible. Even if that, obviously Garcia's not getting minutes, but even if Tristan Rowe has to come in for Matty Cash, maybe.
Uh,
Um,
I don't. Yeah, go on.
he's going out on loan, is he?
He's in France.
There we go. I never knew
That
that.
it did actually go under the radar, to be fair, because Villa never put
Never knew
anything
that. I thought he
out.
was still with us, but we ignored
Yeah,
that. But we can't cut it out.
yeah, we,
I
we ain't
reckon.
skilled enough to cut it out. We ain't got that in
Uh,
us.
Lindelof, Torres, Matson. It's going to have to be McGinn and Bogard in the middle, and then Gazond, Elliott, Marlon, and Sancho as a Marlon up front, Sancho off the right. Because I think Emery did make some comments, didn't he, saying he saw about Sancho playing off the right at Dortmund rather than the left like he did at Man United and Chelsea.
Yeah,
So for me personally, that would be my starting 11, and just giving them a basically telling them to go out there, enjoy themselves, and prove to them that they want to start against Sunderland at the weekend. Would you change
yeah,
anything with that too? Apart from Tristan Rose not your club anymore?
yeah. I probably wouldn't have Tristan Rowe playing. It'll probably be Matty Cash playing. Whether or not he makes that many subs, chain rotation. Sorry, I'm not sure. But what you said, I like. I like McGinn and Bogard in the middle. I'd like to see Lindelof play, Matson play. I would like to have that front four you've just mentioned. Pardon me, but then he might think Ollie hasn't scored yet. If we can play away against Brentford and he gets a goal, he's off and running. I don't know. I didn't see how Brentford lined up in the previous round. I don't know if they went strong or weak. Or I'm not sure,
I
but
can't remember.
yeah, obviously Keith Andrews still has a point to prove. So if he goes strong, I think that'd actually suit us even more because I feel like if
Yeah, I
he
think
just
he will
played,
go strong.
yeah, because again he's still fresh to it all. So I don't think he's going to rotate heavily.
No,
So if he does that, that'll suit us even better because we'll get thrown back in our faces. Oh, we beat Brentford's B team. So I'm hoping to see the likes of Carvalho and Dango Atara and all etc. Collins play and Kelleher play and
yeah, exactly.
Henderson. I want them to play still. But yeah, that front four you mentioned, they're all interchangeable. You could have
Yeah,
obviously Gasson's played off the right, or he's played off the left majority of the time for us when he's come off the bench or started. But he's played off the right as a 10 and up front for his
I think all of
previous
them have
club.
really. Apart from
Yeah, and
Elliot,
then
hasn't Elliot's played obviously the three behind the striker before. Marlon off the right and up front. Sancho can play in all four of them positions. So you are right. There's a lot of mixing that you
versatility.
can do with that front four, which could cause obviously Brentford problems. I did actually watch them Saturday night against Chelsea. I actually thought they did alright. To be fair, obviously two two good goals from Chelsea. I think obviously caused obviously go lost made them lose the game, but I actually think they did alright. What did you watch them on Saturday or not?
Yeah, yeah. No, I watched the last because I was out in Portsmouth. I got in. I was able to catch the last 25, 30 minutes. I think. It was a lot of Chelsea, but their shape was good.
Yeah.
When Caicedo scored that goal, I thought, "Oh God, it's curtains now." But for them to how they battled back, how they did, I thought was
Yeah.
class. I feel like Henderson. I've never been his greatest fan, but for this system that he's in, I feel like he
It
played.
was a good ball, wasn't it, for the first goal, wasn't it, for Kevin Sharp?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It was a
Obviously,
good ball to him.
Dango, we all know about. He done us last time with Pau Torres's really good defensive abilities. We had obviously Carvalho. I've watched Carvalho ever since he was at Fulham in the Championship. When Liverpool signed him, I thought, he's a really good player, really good young player. But obviously now he's obviously getting going through the years, and it hasn't really quite worked for him. But again, he came off the bench on Saturday and got that second goal. So that, like I said before, I'm hoping that they play a decent team, and I hope it'll be a good test because I feel like that's what we need right now. We can't just play against again, like I said, their B team. We need them to put their big hitters out as well. And again,
Yeah,
our squad depth is good. So you look at that team where again, let me just run off some names. You've got Bezo, Cash, Lindelof, Torres, Matson, Bogard, McGinn,
yeah,
Gassond, Marlon, Elliott, Sancho. That's a top half table team. If
yeah,
it's good. You look at
yeah.
you've had Champions League finalists there, people that have won a lot of trophies in there, a lot of international caps in there, a lot of Premier League experience in there.
Experience. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's just I feel like that depth should be enough to beat Brentford's best team, but the way we've been playing this year, it's not like that.
We really lost them this season, mate. So
Yeah, I know, I
um,
know. I'm not hopeful, if
obviously,
I'm honest.
tactically, obviously, as you saw on Saturday, um, under Keith Andrews, a lot of balls in the box. Obviously, long throws. Obviously, worked a lot on set pieces. Obviously, being a set piece coach, you would imagine that anyway. So yeah, they will cause us problems, and hopefully we come out the other end by at least scoring a goal, and obviously into the next round because we need to start winning some competitions, don't we? It's been a long time. 1996, even a Carabao Cup. You see what the Newcastle fans were like last season with Newcastle winning it. So as much as I would like him to go strong, I think from our first four performances in the league, I think it's time to make them changes for this game personally, and hopefully progress to the next round. So hopefully Touchwood does make them changes. But you never know with Emery, do you? He doesn't like rotating too much, does he? We've seen it before in cup games, even against lower league side. He doesn't rotate too much, does he?
No, no, he doesn't. You saying there about the last win being in '96. Do you not count that the one that JT lifted in 2017, that pre-season one? I think that was a big that was a big one. Um,
We're not Tottenham fans, including the Audi Cup one,
Audi
mate.
Cup. I think after we won that pre-season trophy, everyone was putting you can get it for like £4.50 or something like that off the internet on
I
eBay.
did see that. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, at the time, yeah. But yeah, we need to win a trophy again, even a League Cup, because that guarantees European football. Because the way it's going, we look so dire that we might not even finish in the top half at this rate.
No,
So
might be too much to catch on.
if if we won a League Cup and we finish and we're say 16th, but we're clear of relegation, and it's like last 3 or 4 games of the season, at least we know we're
We're
in.
in Europe.
We've got European football next year, and because that's the main thing to stay. You know, even though the whole European financial rules are absurd, but to stay in Europe, I think is big for Emery. Again, we said in the last video the other night, he's been in it for like 18 years in a row now. That just doesn't happen by coincidence. If we,
No,
we
not at
have
all.
2, 3 years out of Europe, what happens there? Do we go back to how we were? Do the owners get disinterested because they've seen what it's like when you get to that stage of there's so many things that can happen with not qualifying for Europe. Once you're there, you get a taste for it, and we got Bologna next week, and it's just like it's exciting. You're playing this team from Italy, and different philosophies come to Villa Park that you might not see in the Prem, and like we saw with Olympiacos when they come
Yeah,
to Villa Park, no one in the most similar style of football that was Ange in his first season under Spurs. Just absolute go for it and just like no holds barred, just see what happens and go for it. Like
it
not
works.
it's not even these short intricate passes. It's about playing it long, creating gaps in the midfield, and then you just capitalise it, winning the seconds. Then you go from there, and it's just channel balls, and it's old school really when you think about it. But you wouldn't get a Premier League team that plays like that. So it's interesting to see. I remember Juventus last year when they came, how they played and how they set up. It's just a bit different. It's intriguing to see how different
Yeah,
countries play and stuff like
each
that.
country plays a different style of football, don't
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they?
To an extent, it's died out. Like back in when you think of when our dads were growing up, it would have been more so the fact of if you were playing against a German team, they're going to run more than you. If you're playing against an Italian team, you're going to be trouble breaking them down because they're so defensively solid and sound. If you're playing a
Yeah,
Spanish team, you're not going to touch the ball at all. If you're playing an English team, if you're playing an English team, it's going to be up in the air most of the game. You're going to get beat the fuck out of basically. Whereas now is a bit different. Now everyone likes to play this small intricate football, but it's still interesting to see. We've seen Club Brugge were a big thing of that last year. They had that. Was it Vanaken? Their number 10, their
Tanaka.
captain. Yeah, their number
Yeah,
10.
Tanaka.
Your man's like 34 years old, but the way that they played suited him perfectly, and he literally looked like prime Zidane. But if you put him in that Southampton team last year that got relegated, he would have been one of the worst players. But it's just interesting to
Yeah,
see teams with their philosophies come over and players that it's like that and Doyle that signed for Forest when he played for Bologna last year. He looked so good when he played for Bologna against us
yeah, he did,
last
didn't
year. I think Ezri played right back that game, and he was skinning
he?
Ezri as he kept coming inside, and we just didn't know what to do. It's just interesting to see players how they set up, player specific when they set up against other teams. It's just interesting to see. So, but again, going a bit off topic there, but we need to stay in Europe so we know how that's like. You know,
Yeah, I totally
it,
agree with you, mate.
it
Yeah,
all it all
even it,
stem it all stems from this game on Tuesday against Brentford. You know, if we don't win this, and then all of a sudden you've lost, we haven't, or even if we don't score, if we lose 1-0, Jesus Christ, like, even if we lose 2-1, at least we've scored. Do you know what I mean?
I'd rather draw 0-0 and win on penalties and go through than lose 2-1.
I don't know. I don't know
Um,
how we'd be able to win on penalties because we won't be able to score. We won't score any penalties.
predictions then for Tuesday?
0-0.
Yeah, 0-0, yeah.
No. I'll always go for Villa win. I'll go 2-1.
Goal scorers?
Sancho and McGinn.
Interesting. I'm going to
Yeah,
go
naive of me.
scrappy 1-0 Villa. Scrappy 1-0 winner.
Matty
Uh,
Cash.
let's go Lindelof, 88th minute header in the back post.
Oh, mate, wow. So cooked.
Um, there we go. Hopefully we'll win. Hopefully we're in the next round, and hopefully we can have a cup run like we did in the FA Cup last season.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be back with another episode either after the Brentford game, or it'll definitely be before Sunderland. So cheers for coming, Jay, and I will speak to you soon up the Villa.
Yeah, up the Villa, mate.